It's certainly been a hive of activity here on the farm these last couple weeks, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
I'm really glad we decided to not do the meadow garden this year because it's been able to allow us to focus on some of these details that we've been wanting to do for a while.
Yeah, big projects seem to kind of take over the small details.
Yes.
And this is sort of a year where we get to focus on some of the smaller things that will really help us.
I've been wanting
be
to plant this
successful.
honeysuckle for years. Every time we drive by that pole, I think, dang it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
We did it.
we did it.
Victory.
Yeah,
Part of that's just spring, right? I mean, you're just going to go for it. We have all this energy pent up. But, part of it was getting ready for the big event we had on the farm.
yeah. All your ladies came and
Yep.
y'all spent 3 days together.
Yeah, we got to help 20 women from all over the country launch their doTERRA businesses. And that was so fun.
Yeah,
Draining, challenging, stretching, but amazing.
it was good. Yep.
Hey, thanks for holding down the fort, by the way. Well, we went and spent the days at the winery and taught classes and pretended we were business women.
Well, as much fun as that sounded, I actually think I had the easier job.
No, it was good. I'm super thankful for that opportunity. And, also thankful now that I just get to go back to the gardens.
That's right.
So it's kind of crazy because I've been waiting for Angela to come here since we moved here. She's my person I talk to about design, about gardening, and she finally comes, and I feel like we got no time in the gardens. I didn't even send her back with any of the seeds that I had for her. I had baggies and baggies of seeds, and even in
hard.
it was an intense couple of days, but it's just even in the 4 days since everyone's been gone, things have just exploded. And I find myself like wanting to send pictures to everyone and be like, look, this happened since you were gone, and this happened since you were gone. And it's like this just deep desire to share what we have with other people.
Well, I think it's challenging too when so much of what you do is oriented just kind of towards the house and in the home and kind of in this little family unit, so you work from home, you work in the home, the work you share with others is about the home. And so a lot of the stuff you do is oriented here.
Right.
And so it presents challenges for having to really like go out and come in contact with people.
Yeah.
So
Notice I didn't. I brought everyone here.
That's kinda
It's
what
like,
you have to do.
I'll stay here. Y'all come to me. It's just such a weird world that we live in where I can have friends and business associates all over the country, right? I mean, we're just so connected now. And what feels very neighborly in terms of relationship, it's different. It's drives and plane rides away from actually just being here and being in the garden as a human. So, but, I still find myself, whether people are here, when we have families over or where they're far away, like I want to share what we have with people. And that makes me happy because it can feel very vain in a way when you're just like you said, when you're just laboring and laboring and laboring in your home, around your home. You're building the gardens, you're doing this and that, you're painting, whatever it is. So when that desire comes to want to share that with other people, it gets very exciting. When you realize this could actually be a hub, this could be a place for people. I hope that people left, with a little bit of just joy and inspiration in their heart from being here.
So much of how we orient life just in general, just as people in America, or maybe in just modern culture, is not really oriented towards the home. Home is more like a springing board to like go out and do the things that you do.
It's like a rest stop.
Yeah, kind of a rest stop.
Yeah.
And our lives are so filled up with things apart from the home that it's hard to cultivate a home atmosphere where it's a place that you feel like it can be a hub. It can be a spot to invite people in and to extend hospitality and those kinds of things. But I think that's kind of one of the things that we intentionally are trying to maybe lean against, but also cultivate something maybe just a slightly different. And
I totally want to have that type of house. Where you feel like you can walk in the door and get a hot cup of coffee, have a meal, or just enjoy fellowship, enjoy time together.
But to do that, you have to bring people in. And I think, there's probably still a very significant part in order not to become isolated, where you need to be going out.
It's true.
Out into your community.
I travel sometimes.
Out to your neighbors. You can't just require everyone to come to you.
No, you can't.
It has to be a good balance. Yeah. But
Does that mean we get to go visit Angela's family in Door County?
I think we should probably just go up the road to our neighbor first. And to our next door neighbors and
well,
say,
the kids are up there right now.
They are up there saying hey to the neighbor. Yeah. That's why we're able to have this conversation right now.
There's something in our nature that just, when we see something beautiful, we want to share it. We want to share it with people. Like Owen picked one of the Johnny jump ups and brought it to me. Like he wanted so badly to show it to me.
You have to cultivate that though as well. And there is a part of us that might not want to do that, and maybe there's an element that's okay. Not every part of your life has to be available. It's okay to have privacy. That's a good thing. But not at the expense of welcoming people and being hospitable.
Fellowship.
We had more people here on Sunday after the doTERRA event than I think we'd had ever at one time. I think at one point we had 25 women walking around the house and through the gardens, and it was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. It's like sharing it with everyone all at once, like drinking from a fire hose.
It was a lot of espressos.
It was a lot of espressos.
But I had a suspicion that I might be so I roasted a double batch the night before.
You were prepared.
I was thinking.
It's fun to see it all come to life. There was a time where we couldn't really open up to people the way that we can now because we were just sinking.
Right. Well, and I think part of that is originally we had the vision that we wanted this to be a place that we could invite people to and show hospitality. The challenge became in creating that it didn't feel like the kind of place. Like the stages of creating
during the process
is quite messy. It's like a painter is a little apprehensive about showing off his painting before it's finished. And I think you run into some challenges that way. Because something like this takes a long time to actually cultivate, and it's never really quite finished anyways.
I find myself like being a little self-conscious.
Oh yeah.
Because the reality of life is there's always the dirty laundry. Like you were saying, naturally we don't want to share that with people. And so when you invite somebody into your home, you're saying, I'm real. There's a vulnerability, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, you're touching on another just inherent challenge in a time that we can connect so easily and so widely across the interwebs. The nature of like doing something like a YouTube video, you're not gonna put every single second of your life on there. That's impractical, and it's not something that people would want to see. So, the nature of something like that, it's curated, content, which is fine. I mean, that's you do that all the time with all kinds of things. But the thing about being in person is that you can't create the content to the extent, you're much more faced with the real deal.
It's true.
Which is fine. I mean,
which is good.
It's good.
Messy dishes and messy kids, and that's part of it.
Yeah, but the thing that you have to be very aware of is to make who you are in the flesh as close as possible to who you are in other, in other avenues, other YouTube or blog or whatever.
Yeah, very true.
You should be the same person.
Yeah. Well, I hope that the women left here feeling that way. I hope that, it was representative of what they thought it would be. And, you know,
Well, I think, yeah, as long as you're putting forward, you know, those important elements to be real, to be the, you know, what you actually are in every area as much as you can be, given the limitations of all those different avenues of relationships, then yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
I think if I learned a lesson from this past weekend, it was that as nice as it is and as an introvert to just sit here quietly all day, none of us are at our best when we're by ourselves.
No, we were
We need people.